Ty with Ty the Dog Guy on the Daily. I want to talk about growing out of problems. It's a question I get a lot. In fact, I just opened up my email and we get quite a few questions a day, just, folks looking for advice. And this one, had to do with, my dog's 6 months old and he's starting to act aggressive. Do you think he'll grow out of it? And my response, just, very frank response was no, he'll likely grow into it, meaning he'll do it more and he'll do it more frequently and worse and worse and worse. Do dogs grow out of problems? Yes, they do. I see it rarely. More often than not, dogs grow into problems. Now, the reason why that is very simple when you think of, just very simple behavior. You don't have to be a behaviorist. You don't have to be, someone that studied things to look at this, just kind of rationally and say, okay, why is the dog doing this behavior? Number one, dog's doing the behavior because he likes it. He's getting something out of it. If he wasn't getting something out of it, he probably wouldn't be doing it, right? And so we can kind of take that as a given. So the dog enjoys it on a certain level. Now, this is true for anything, and in reality, all of our behavior, and I say people, dogs, cats, all of our behavior is based on only two motivations. That's it. To either get pleasure or to avoid pain. And you can use whatever words, to get satisfaction and to avoid discomfort, like really whatever you want. There's all sorts of words that you can use, but those are the only reasons why living creatures do things, to get pleasure and to avoid pain. And if you disagree, well, frankly, you're wrong, but, because sometimes people say, well, this person does this behavior, maybe consider behavior that somebody does that's counterproductive. Like, I don't know, maybe they cut themselves, because obviously that happens. And say, well, look, they're not doing that to get pleasure or avoid pain, and they're giving themselves pain. And the reality is, no, somebody cuts themselves to get pleasure or to avoid pain. That's it. There aren't any other reasons. And perhaps the pain that's avoided in cutting is greater than the pain of cutting, or perhaps the pleasure that's gained in cutting is greater than the pain that they actually feel in the actual cutting. And I use it as kind of a kind of extreme response, because oftentimes dogs have extreme behaviors, and people say, he's lunging and attacking other dogs, and it's not like it looks like he likes it. Well, he's doing it to get pleasure or to avoid pain. That's it. And that's simple behaviors, that's, complex behaviors. All behavior boils down to that. And very frequently both, we're doing something because it feels good, and the alternative, we're avoiding the alternative, which might, be painful. But anyways, when we understand that all behavior is done to get pleasure, to avoid pain, then we understand that it's highly unlikely that a dog would ever grow out of a behavior. Because the dog's doing it to get pleasure, avoid pain. Tomorrow, the dog will still be able to get pleasure or avoid pain. And the next day, that's still going to be the case. And the next day, that's still going to be the case. So why would a dog ever grow out of a behavior? And the reality is, the only reason a dog ever could is because it ceases to be pleasurable, or it ceases to fulfill the ability to avoid pain. That's it. Now, sometimes that happens with age. I'm trying to think of, I don't know, some dogs get less hyper as they get older. That does happen. And so they grew out of being hyper. But in reality, they just get less pleasure out of it because, they're not like goofy puppies anymore. So can a dog grow out of behavior? Yes. But when we're talking about like some sort of deviant type behavior, the dog being aggressive, he's being aggressive for a very specific reason. He's 6 months old. He's being aggressive for a reason. What is going to encourage him to stop? Getting older? No. There's no reason that getting older is going to encourage a dog to stop being aggressive. There's no reason that getting older is going to stop, a dog from jumping. There's no reason that a dog's going to grow out of most behaviors. So How do we get rid of behaviors? We train our dogs. That's how we get rid of behaviors. So don't think your dog's going to grow out of it. It's up to you to help your dog get over the problem.